Uh, eh. Words. Let's speak words. Let's just start saying words. That's a good way to start. I've been trying to come up with a clever and interesting way to start this video for like the past 5 minutes, and nothing comes to mind. So, anyway, welcome to the 9th episode of the Handy's Hobbies hobby blog. Eventually I think I'm going to get tired of saying that, and I have cursed myself to say it forever. Oh well. Another week of foobar. Lots of foobar. And snafu. And other military terms I'm not qualified to actually use. I did not get much done this week, unfortunately. I managed to do a lot of work, I feel, but I just didn't manage to hit a lot of targets. So, the hobby goals, for the hobby update, the hobby goals for last week were Prime Land Raider, finish 2 Sternguard, finish the Grey Knights, and assemble Squigs. So, I didn't do the Land Raider, because when I pulled it out yesterday, I think, I suddenly recalled that I hadn't done any of the, green stuff, gap filling on it. It's up here. And that was something I told myself I would do. This is Land Raider number 3. I have my first Land Raider, which is now heat damaged beyond just about all reason for my Templars. Man, talking's hard right now. It's been another kind of long week. But anyway, Land Raiders. Number 3. I told myself I would do this one better. Not just full awesome paint job, but one thing I've noticed with my Space Marine vehicles is that I just tend to assemble the kits and then start working on them. I don't often do a lot of the smaller stuff, like gap filling with green stuff, or maybe sanding or filing if needed. I have been doing that with my Death Guard, and I decided that if I was going to do a new Land Raider for my Black Templars and paint it up in full, I wanted it to be as good as it possibly could. That's kind of the objective for my Templars, is everything has to be not necessarily the top 100% effort everything all the time, but the best army work if I can do. I'm not painting these exactly to be in a showcase, but I'm painting them to go into one if I want them to. I don't know. I don't know how to put it. I guess there's all kinds of shortcuts when you do the hobby. There's tips and tricks you learn, and as you move on and you stay in it and stay with it, you learn how to apply them. And I think the objective for the Templars is to always apply everything that I know the right way, if that makes sense. So for instance, I don't have to do gap filling on those tanks. It's not something people are gonna notice unless they're really looking hard. But I notice it because I'm looking hard at it, because I have to have it this far away from my face for hours and hours. So the end product should look good when you're done, or at least that's my opinion. But for instance, these Grey Knights I've been working on, the one thing I noticed about them is that the mold near some of the legs isn't perfect. And if you were a more obsessive type person, I guess, I don't know how to say that without sounding offensive, but there is a word I would use, but I don't think I should use it on a video. But attentive, aggressively attentive. You would maybe like go in with some files and file stuff away and do some resculpting, and I'm not really about that. I like to paint. That's my main thing. But if you don't do those sorts of things, it can affect the paint job, because there's gaps, there's things there that shouldn't be there. So anyway, I didn't do that because I hadn't done that. I pulled it out, like I was just like, oh, I'll just spray paint this tonight, being last night, being Sunday. It's now Monday. Technically it's 3 a.m. Tuesday morning, but so I was like, I can't do this, I don't have the time to do this right now, so I'm not going to. Oh well. I did not assemble those squigs either, because I didn't need them this week, and there just wasn't enough time. More work stuff. The 3 days I did end up having off, I had to catch up on a lot of personal stuff. So I didn't have quite as much time as I planned, which is a recurring theme, unfortunately. But such is life. So I didn't do those. Unfortunately, I didn't need them this week. I was under the impression that the Path of Glory campaign was a weekly thing, and it's a bi-weekly, every 2 weeks thing, so you have 2 weeks to play your games. So I really don't need those squigs anytime, at least this week. I'm probably going to do them this week. Anyway, jumping ahead. So I didn't do those. And I got one Sternguard done. I didn't get the second one done. Here's the completed one. And as always, links in the description. The Instagram files or Instagram photos will do way more justice than my phone camera will. But yeah, he's great. I really, really like how my Templars are turning out. This new way of doing it, like, the one thing I've noticed comparing it to some of the stuff I did like 4 years ago, it all looks very similar, but if there's one thing I can say I've gotten better at, it's brush control. Like, I've gotten much better with controlling the thickness and sharpness of a line when I paint than I used to be. And if you look at some of my older stuff, when I sort of started to, not long after I had really put the effort into painting in the kind of like layer edge highlight style, that stuff is a little bit more shaky. Like, I didn't quite have fine brush control yet. And if there's one thing I've learned from painting these Sternguards and painting those Bolter Marines and the Scouts, is that I have a lot steadier hand now, so awesome. Great. I really, it's something I picked up, something I noticed, and something I am very appreciative of. Hard work pays off, to quote Torbjorn. So I got him done. I got one done. The second guy is in the works, and he's close. One of the things I managed to do was get some texture paint down and wash it. I think I have like a brief last highlight on the reds. I have both highlights on the black, and I've got to do his tabard. And there's not as much white on this guy, so that should go pretty quick. It's basically all just on this mask here, and it's not the full helmet like it is on this Marine. This Marine, the entire helmet's white. On this one, it's just the beak. I don't normally do them that way for the beaky faces. Mark 7 or whatever. But I decided I'd try it out just to see how it looks. And because I was being lazy. And there's already a lot of beaky Marines in that squad. I think of the 5, one of them doesn't have a beak helmet, so I was really trying to figure out a way to, like, vary it up a little bit, especially since they're all the ones with the combi plasma guns and the plasma guns. So yeah, I, like, 1.5 out of 4. I gave it the old college try, whatever. No, 2.5 out of 4, because I did finish all 4 of the Grey Knight Terminators that I said I would do. This is the guy from last week. But yeah, these were a blast. This was what most of my hobby time on the 3 days I had off was working on these guys and getting them done. And they were awesome. I just cannot sing the praises of contrast paint enough. Now that said, I didn't really use any contrast paint on these guys this week. Last week, all over the place. The one thing I have noticed they're really good for is freehand decaling, or freehand painting, whatever. My brain not work so good because 3 a.m. and tired, and I'm trying to get myself off of vape products and nicotine in general, so I'm on the nicotine patch right now, and I'm pretty sure it's running out. So, yeah, I finished 4 Grey Knight Terminators. Contrast sped everything up on these guys. It was fun to paint. I used a lot of different things on them. Like, I did edge highlighting, dry brushing. I did battle damage, which was just straight out of the GW, like, tip video. Like, I used a dark brown dryad bark, thinned down really hard, and then just a simple white highlight under it and around it as necessary. Like, there's some times where you want to do it on both sides, depending on, like, how the natural light from above would hit it. And yeah, I did just a couple simple freehand designs on the shields on their shoulders. And they were a lot of fun. And I might have Grey Knight fever right now because I want to do more. I want to do so many more. I have like 25 intercessors sitting on this table just under the camera that are all begging to be worked on. So let's see. Terminators, Sternguard. I did something this week that I said I would do weeks ago, which was assemble Saint Celestine. And beyond that, I started to work on it because Everchosen is now 26 days away, something like that. So I started to work on my Saint Celestine. I'm doing the wings and the rest of the model as sub-assemblies, and then the birds as their own assembly. I haven't even taken those off the sprue yet. They're gonna be the last thing I do. But I started to work on her, and you're not really gonna be able to tell on this mini. Maybe you can a little bit, but this armor is not black. It's dark purple. And my thought here was to do, like, she's from the Order of our martyred lady. Like, it's the standard, like, you know, Sisters of Battle color scheme, like the black armor, red robes kind of thing. And I was like, well, I don't want to just paint her like she is on the box, like all golds and whites, and that's about it. I think what I want to do is kind of interpret it as her, like, not long after her ascension to a saint. Like, not immediately, like, the moment of, but, like, maybe it's from the campaign where it happened or whatever. I don't know her lore terribly well. It's been a long time since I've read it, and it's just never really stuck in my mind. But I've always liked that model, and I like the new one. So it's the one I wanted to go with. And I've gotten a lot of work done on that armor. Still ways to go. Still ways to go on a lot of it. But I at least started, and that's the important part. The other thing was doing all the contrast work on a Grey Knight Librarian. And man, oh man, it took me an hour. I don't know exactly. Like, I was just kind of doing it as I went along while I was working on these guys. Or, like, stopped and took a break to just do this while I was taking a breather from edge highlighting these. Man, like, this stuff feels like cheating. It feels like cheating. if that makes any sense. Because, like, with the old, like, if I had done this the same way, using the old paints, as in, like, I sprayed them all gray and did a dry brush and then started washing, it just wouldn't be as consistent overall. Like, you'd have to do some more, like, layer work to get it to this point. Like, this is just basically needs a highlight and it's done. And that is awesome. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I also got in some more bases this week. I had like 5 or 6 Grey Knights that I just couldn't put on 32s because I ran out of 32s. So I cracked a couple of those off their bases and stuck them down and primed them and washed them and highlighted them. And this guy has been sitting up on my top shelf up here for months and 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 months. And I was like, well, I'm working on these Grey Knights. I have a Dread Knight right there. Let's prime him. Let's get him to the same point that all the rest of these guys are at, which is ready to just have contrast thrown onto it. So I did. I did not hit my goals due to being a flighty, scatterbrained moron. But, I mean, I had fun. So, and I got hobby done, and that's all that really matters. Let's see. I had 3 of the little, or I had the little cheap 3-man Plague Marine box. I saw it sitting on my friendly local game store's shelves, and I was just like, I probably need to buy another box of Plague Marines at some point. I don't know that I have to, though. And this comes with a Blight Launcher, another, like, Sergeant Champion, Aspiring Champion, with a Power Fist, and more importantly, he's got the Plasma Gun on the back, so that's an option that I didn't have for my army before. And then just a standard bolt gun guy. So I think with the handful of, like, conversions I did on the Chosen, just hand swaps, basically, that I did for the Chosen from Dark Vengeance, the Chaos Marine Chosen from that starter kit, I think I might have 20 Plague Marines now, which is about all I need. I do not plan to make my Death Guard army as, like, massive and encompassing as my Templar army is. I think the goal there is to get, like, one of everything, and I say one meaning, like, the choices that I would want to play with. So, for instance, I have 3 Myphitic Blight Haulers. Like, I just want to run, like, 1 Trilobe of those. I don't, however, want to run, like, be able to say, I'm going to run an army of my Fennec Blight Haulers and have, like, 9 or something like that. Like, and I'm really, really close to, like, just model count done with them. I'm also pretty close to done with them as they are. Like, I've got a 10-ish Plague Marines, 13 now, probably, that need to be done. I got 10 done and some amount that need to be done. Not many Poxwalkers. I know I've got a full squad of 20 now, if I recall rightly. And then I've got 2 Myphatic Blight Haulers to finish. Got to assemble this boy and paint him. And when all of that is done, when everything is done, when my brain goes, alright, this army's finished, then we get Mortarion, and we paint up Mortarion. Holy crap, we're at 20 minutes already. Sorry, I haven't even hit hobby goals for the week yet, so we'll go straight into that. Hobby goals. I think, from what I've learned from my experience last week, we're going to change it up a little bit. And instead of having a bunch of hard goals, we're going to have a bunch of soft goals. So, I'm going to put together the squigs. I think that will definitely get done this week, because I'm going to need them to play. We're going to finish that last Sternguard. That will be done. That way I don't have to have that on my brain anymore, just being like, you didn't do it, you didn't do it, you didn't do it. Anyway, we're going to do that. We're going to work on Celestine some more. I am going to try to just do as much with contrast paint on my Grey Knights as possible. Bare minimum, 5 intercessors with the contrast just down, like not finished, not finished, but just contrasts. I should be able to pick up that Leadbelcher spray primer tomorrow. So I think I'm going to do a couple test models with the just Chaos Marines I have lying around, and maybe put together one from the I can't even remember the name of the box set. The new box set with the Primaris Marines and the Chaos Marines. I'm going to put together something from the Chaos Marines and maybe paint it. But test models first. We're going to green stuff that Land Raider and finish the Librarian. So, the only goals that I will absolutely finish this week are the Sternguard, the last Sternguard, and the Squigs. Like, I know I can do that. That'll be the first thing I do, day off today, technically, but when I wake up after I go to sleep after making this video. Those I know I can do. I'm going to knock them out immediately, and then I'm just going to use the time I have to play. Well, not play, work, but, I mean, for me, that's kind of the same thing. The Eternal Crusade. Land Raider, I guess. Like, I'm doing a couple things for the Eternal Crusade this week, which is either is finishing the Sternguard or the Land Raider. Oh, I've had this fan on this whole video. Oh man, it's already late. Sorry if that's making some kind of terrible noise on the video. I'm sorry. Didn't mean it. I've had a rough couple weeks, and I'm exhausted again. More joy next week. I swear. There's some power out there that is conspiring against me. I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones. But it won't win. I won't let it. don't care what it is. Nothing will stop me from doing stuff with toy soldiers, which sounds weird. Hobbying. Nothing will stop me from hobbying. Nothing. Except dead collectors. And the inevitable decay of life as we know it. Anyway, that's episode 9. Thanks for everything on Instagram and whatnot. Sorry this video went up late. It's just been kind of rough for me. I'll see you next week.